So, wanted to hop on here regarding the Minneapolis police shooting of Daunte Wright. Of course, the story is now circulated quite a bit online. The police body cam footage of the officer involved video was released, I think, very smartly by the department and the police chief. Just a horrific accident. However, an accident nevertheless. The video is online. It's a little tough to find. I'm going to actually post a link down below here in the after video edit. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know if you're tuning in from Minneapolis or any of the surrounding areas. And if you happen to be tuning in from outside the U.S., let me know. Here we are again. And there's a couple of things I want to point out that are happening and not happening. First and foremost, the people who are saying that this was the fault of Mr. Wright, you're not wrong in that he should not have resisted arrest. You can see in the video Mr. Wright, who has an extensive criminal record, an extensive criminal history for being a young man. There is some reports that he was affiliated with a gang. Whether he was affiliated with the gang or not, he had a really deep criminal record. That said, he had a warrant out for his arrest. He's out of the vehicle and he has his hands behind his back. The police are holding his hands behind his back. There's multiple officers. And as he's about to be handcuffed, he breaks away. We'll get to that. He breaks away and he re-enters his vehicle in an attempt to flee. One officer is trying to pull him out of the vehicle again. And a female officer whose body cam we're seeing pulls out her gun. Now, on the video, I'm a shooter, obviously having done the job for so long, I instantly realized she says, "I'm going to tase you." However, you instantly see she does not have her taser out. She has her firearm out. And she keeps yelling, "I'm going to tase you, I'm going to tase you." He continues to resist arrest and continues fighting. And she pulls the trigger and fires a single shot that ultimately is a fatal shot to Mr. Wright. Should never have happened. I don't care what anyone says at this point. That is not a mistake that should happen with a trained police officer. A lot of people are like, well, it was a crazy incident. It was a crazy situation. He was resisting arrest. He's about to get in a car, maybe drive away. When you're wielding tools that can take someone's life, you have to know. I've held a taser. I've held my duty firearm. I know which is which in my hand. I also know, just by the grip, I also know that when I pull it out and I'm pointing it at someone, I know that I'm pointing my firearm and not a taser at somebody. So maybe if in the heat of the moment you mistaken, which your taser and your firearm are holstered in two totally different areas on your body. Totally different areas. So you would actually have to reach to a completely different area to deploy your taser than you would your firearm, your pistol. So not only are you deploying from a completely different area, okay, well then maybe you mistakenly deploy it. Well, the second you deploy it and you feel that in your hand, you know it's not your taser. They have a different weight, they have a different feel. But maybe even then, at that point, you still didn't know because you were just getting a purchase of the weapon. Well, I know that when you present that weapon in front of your line of sight, at that point, you should know. Because you're looking on a weapon, you're looking at your front sight, you're looking at your rear sight, and if you're looking at a pair of iron sights, you're not looking at a taser. I've been in those situations where someone's fighting with the police, fighting with me. I've been there. And I know it can get a little crazy. But you have to know whether you're pulling out your taser, whether you're pulling out your weapon, whether you're pulling out your pepper spray, whether you're pulling out your baton. You could tell the female officer is very distraught after she fires her weapon. You could hear it in her voice. She clearly didn't know she had her pistol in her hand, thought she had her taser, and in the heat of that moment, fired a bullet, killing Mr. Wright. The people who say he should not have resisted arrest are not wrong. The people who are right now saying, had Mr. Wright not resisted arrest, he would be alive right now. He would probably be in jail, sitting in a cell, waiting for court, but he'd be alive. You're not wrong, all the people that are saying that. However, the truth of this matter is he should be alive right now. At the most, he should be alive, having been tased and taken a hit with the taser, but he should be alive right now. I don't know how to, I can't say it enough. I've said it before on here. I've said it on the podcast. I've said it on interviews. I can't think of any of these incidents that we've seen over the last however many months now, year plus, that would have not happened at all had the person not resisted arrest. That is 100% truth. That's a fact. Almost every incident we're seeing involves someone who was in some way, shape, or form resisting arrest or in some capacity not listening to the police. That's a fact. We've all seen it. The video's out there. However, this incident is different in that, yeah, resisted arrest. Yes, was trying to flee the police. Yes. However, police officers are trained to draw this weapon and use it effectively. And if you are a police officer, you have to know that you are drawing these weapons to use them in very, very tense situations. Someone is most likely resisting arrest. Someone is most likely not listening to your commands. I saw some people say accidents happen. Accidents happen. Yes, accidents happen when you're using power tools, and accidents happen when you're out on a boat and you're boating, and accidents happen when you're driving your vehicle and maybe you're not paying attention and you go through a stop sign. I don't know if I can say accidents happen when a trained police officer draws the wrong weapon, and rather than drawing a less lethal weapon, taser can still kill you. The reports are out there. You can tase someone and they can end up dead. Less lethal, not non-lethal. Did a whole video on this. And you draw your lethal weapon. To me, all the people trying to explain this female officer's actions because it was a tense situation, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I did the job for nearly 15 years. I've been in a few stressful situations. I could tell you right now, if you are in a stressful situation, your heart rate's elevated, someone's fighting with you, someone's resisting arrest, if you don't have the capacity to grab the right weapon, you probably should not be doing the job. Now let's talk about how did someone who was out of a vehicle and was being placed under arrest get away and make it back into his vehicle? That is what no one seems to be talking about. Now, it seems to me that the female officer was in a secondary role, and it was a male officer who had Mr. Wright pinned up against a car, his hands behind his back, and he was attempting to handcuff. Now, what inevitably happens, because I know how it goes, it's happened to me, you have two hands on the person, and you are holding onto them. And then you have to now reach down and release one hand to get your handcuffs. The suspect feels that. And if they are going to make their move, that is the moment they make their move. When they feel that two hands are no longer on you, and now it's down to one. That's exactly when Mr. Wright made his move. He felt that one hand from the male officer come off, and he broke away, and then he was in his car. Now, how did he get to his car so quickly? Well, he got to his car so quickly because they were trying to place him under arrest, literally 2 feet away from the open driver's door. Incredibly horrible tactics. Incredibly horrible tactics. I can go into a whole breakdown of what went wrong at this scene. However, for those of you who've not done the job, it may go over your head, but the reality is the vehicle door should have been closed. The keys should have been out of the vehicle. The engine should have been off. He should have been, if anything, near the patrol car, not his own car, while being arrested. There was a breakdown of tactics on so many levels that led to this young man being killed. And it just boggles my mind that there are major police departments out there that have police officers carrying a gun that are so poorly trained, that are just doing things like it's the Wild West. You have a guy with a warrant, with an extensive criminal history. The guy has pictures all over social media pointing guns. And this is a bad dude. You don't think you should take precaution with this guy and get him away from his vehicle, door closed, keys out of the ignition, back to your patrol car. You don't think you should take those precautions with a guy like this? Just a breakdown in tactics. It's just a breakdown in tactics. I don't know if it's that they were not trained properly. I don't know if these officers maybe just were, trying to take a shortcut, being lazy. I don't know. I'm not pointing any fingers because I don't know. But all we can go on is what we saw. No compliance hold, no nothing. It was just that he got back in the car, and then it was the battle to try to pull him out. And the female officer saying, I'm going to tase you, I'm going to tase you. You have a subject that just broke away from being arrested and now has re-entered their vehicle. And is probably going to try to drive away, which could injure or kill an officer. And tactics fell out the window. And it led to shooting him instead of tasing him. I'm literally at a loss for words of how that happened. And obviously this young man's dead. And now this female officer who clearly did this by accident. I mean, it's clear as day. She totally, forget tunnel vision. She was, I think, just blind. Now she's going to have to live with this. I don't know how the prosecution is going to work. Although it's clearly an accidental discharge of the wrong weapon, she's still probably going to be looking at some sort of serious charge because she took the man's life. Yeah, maybe he'd be alive. He should not have resisted. Should have just gotten arrested. Yes. The people who are saying that, you're 100% right. Don't resist. Just comply. You got a warrant? No big deal. Just take the hit. Get processed. Heck, in somewhere like Minneapolis, you're probably out like a couple hours later back on the street. So we all know how that goes. That's how New York City works. So his decision to resist arrest, break free from the police officer, get back in his vehicle and attempt to flee ultimately led to his death. What I'm saying is it should not have led to his death. It should have led to his being recaptured, re-restrained, and secured. I don't know what their training is there. God only knows. God only knows how they're trained. Now, what happens, of course, afterwards? Burning, looting, destruction, of course. Of course, what ensues is what we've seen. Let's burn things down. Let's destroy the city we live in. Or let's destroy our own neighborhoods, making it worse and turning it into more of a you-know-what hole than it maybe already is, and making it worse for the young children who live in these neighborhoods that are already in a compromised position. Let's just make it worse for them. Let's burn down what's little that is left, and let's destroy what little that is left, so these young boys and girls already in a tough circumstance will just have it tougher. Because that's what they need. That's what the single mom in that neighborhood working to try to support her family, that's what she needs, right? Things lit on fire, things burned to the ground. That's what is going to cure this. That's what's going to make all this stop, right? Go burn stuff down, break into stores, steal yourself a new TV and some new kicks. There we go. This story's old. Now, what I do find interesting is that I haven't seen anyone point the finger at the White House. I know that in some of these incidents, that happened in the past with the past president, a lot of the blame was put on the administration, the rhetoric of the president, the mood that he was setting about race, a lot of people said. And when things happened to men of color at the hands of the police, there were many people who pointed the finger at the White House, at the president, at the administration. However, I haven't seen that happen in this case right now. I know it's fresh. I know it's new. But we saw it happen very quickly in other incidents. My question to you is, Mr. Wright, a young black man, is shot accidentally and loses his life after he resists arrest. And no one is pointing the finger at the White House. No one is pointing the finger at the administration. No one's pointing the finger at the president. Why, when men of color were injured, shot, killed by the police 6 months ago, it was, this is Trump's fault. This is a result of Trump's America. It happens today, not a single word is said about the president. How is that? Why is that? How can that be? So, if it's going to be the case for one, it's got to be the case for the other. I'm not saying it's ever the fault of the guy who's sitting in the White House, right? I'm never saying, to say that is foolish. That a cop in Minneapolis did something based on some old man sitting in the White House. Foolish. But there are people who truly believed in that. So those people who truly believed in that, where are you now? Where are you today? Do you say the same thing? Why are you silent? This happened on a different president's watch. When it happened on the other president's watch, you put it on his head. Why aren't you putting it on this president's head? For all those people who did that, and I'm not saying you're wrong for doing it with the other president, I'm just asking, why aren't you doing it with this president? Fair is fair. But that aside, a young man's dead who should be alive right now. A female officer is never going to be the same and very well may end up in jail. Very well may end up in jail. And just another sad day for policing as a whole. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Anyone who's looking to get into police work right now, as a young person looking to enter police work, a lot of people reach out to me, send private messages, emails to the company. Hey, I'm a young guy, I'm a young woman, I'm looking to get into law enforcement. I 1,000% across the board say, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't even hesitate anymore. I used to hesitate. I used to kind of hesitate and say, it's a good profession. No. Nope. Don't do it. Don't do it. You want to help people? I don't know. Go to medical school. Go to nursing school. I don't, become like a paramedic, an EMT, a firefighter. Do something. Do not become a cop. I actually believe people who, after everything that's been going on in our society, that are going into law enforcement right now today, that are like making the conscious decision saying, I'm going to become a cop after everything that's been going on in our country for the last however many months or year, I think there might be something wrong with you. It goes against biology, our survival. To knowingly go into a situation that the cards are stacked against you, you could easily end up dead, or if you do something to prevent yourself from ending up dead, you could end up in jail for the rest of your life. No one's going to back you. All the protection that you may have had is now being wiped away across the country. Why in the world would anyone with a quarter brain, an eighth of a brain, a 16th of a brain, knowingly go into a profession like that, where you're not making $1 million a year? You're not. You're never going to become a cop and become rich. There are so many other professions you can go into. I just can't tell anyone. I couldn't tell anyone that I truly cared about to go become a police officer. I feel like if I told someone that right now, I would be doing them harm and be doing them a disservice and an injustice. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. And I'll say it again. If you're a young person thinking about a career in law enforcement, don't do it. Don't do it. You're putting your life on the line on many fronts. Don't do it. It's not worth it. The job is no longer worth it. Today, make that change down the road. Maybe a generation from now, things will come full circle. Maybe. But right now, I think you'd have to be an absolute idiot to enter into this profession. With all the different jobs and all the different careers and all the different businesses and tech and all this stuff out there, I'd sling garbage into the back of a garbage truck before going into that job right now. All the best to the Minneapolis Police Department. I'm sure they're going to be dealing with, burning, looting, and all kinds of craziness for who knows how long. No one cares. No one waits for the video. No one waits for anything, Should people be angry? Yeah. People should be angry. The young man lost his life. But burning stuff down doesn't do anything. With regard to the department, I commend them for how they handled this and releasing the video. So good job on that. But they're going to be dealing with quite a mess for the next however long. And, we'll see what happens. It's going to happen again. We know it's going to happen again. There's going to be something happen again where, someone resists arrest. And, I've said it before. I've said it 100 times to young black men out there. If you want to stay alive, don't resist arrest. You want to be tough? You want to be gangster? You want to be hood and fight with the police? You can expect that something bad, something not good, is going to happen to you. You can expect that. And you can also expect to possibly lose your life, whether it's intentional or accidental like we saw here. So the best thing to do is just not do it. However, these young men, Mr. Wright, clearly, as a young black man in America, saw everything that's been going on in our country right now. He saw it. He knows it. He's lit. Unless he's not living under a rock, he's all over social media pointing his gun. So he knows the deal. He knows the deal with police and everything like that. He knows the deal. He still, knowing all that is happening, chose to do the one thing that could potentially lead to his death. He chose to do it. And look, here we are. His family will never see him again. And I don't care his criminal past, criminal history, or whatever. People can change. People can turn their lives around. Who knows what he could have become? Who knows what he would have become? We don't know. We don't know. But we'll never know now, because he decided to do something stupid that led someone else to make a mistake, right? And now he's dead. We've seen criminals run from the police, run across a roadway, and get hit by a car. That's not the police shooting you. That's someone innocently driving down the road hitting you. All of that is negated when you just get arrested. Thousands and thousands and thousands of young black men are arrested across this country. Daily, weekly, monthly basis. And we never hear about it. Why? Because they comply. They don't resist arrest. They comply. Officers say you're under arrest, they put their hands behind their back and they get arrested. It sucks, but they go to jail. And people talk about complying. We shared a video not too long ago, I'll end on this, where a man is in a grocery store without putting his mask on. And he's shopping, refusing to put his mask on. Well, a security guard comes up and asks the man to put the mask on or leave. And the man says, I'm not leaving, I'm doing my shopping. And he tries to continue shopping. So the security guard starts fighting with him, wrestling him, being aggressive toward him, taking all of his groceries away. And this old little man, this little white guy, and the security guard was this big black guy, and the security guard's taking his stuff and, some people say assaulting the man because he wasn't wearing his mask. And what did so many people in the comments say? So many people in the comments said, why didn't the man, meaning the old man, just comply? Why didn't he just comply with the guideline to wear a mask? Would have been all avoided had he just put on a mask and done his food shopping in the little grocery store. But he didn't. He chose to go against the system, do what was clearly not what they wanted him to do, clearly not what he should have been doing. And he paid the price by being assaulted and having all his groceries stripped from him. I don't know what happened to him thereafter. And so many people across the board were like, man, why did that guy just comply? Why didn't he just put a mask on? Would have avoided this whole mess, getting beat up by the big black security guard. Why didn't he just comply? Funny, all the people who just said that, why wouldn't he just comply? I want to know where all those people are when someone fights with the police and ends up getting injured or worse. Because it seems like when it comes to the police, when it comes to wearing a mask, the people are saying, just comply. Put your mask on. Just comply. It's for your health. It's for our health. It's for everyone's health. Wear your mask. Just comply with the rules. Come on, man. You know the thing. But when it comes with the police and someone fails to comply and they end up getting hurt, everyone's like, oh, the cops, what the hell's wrong with the cops? I'm not talking about in this situation. I'm just talking about in general. I don't know, something to think about. Something to think about. Our hearts go out to the family of Mr. Wright. You never want to see a young man lose his life doing something stupid, resisting arrest. It's stupidity. He made a stupid decision. He shouldn't be dead. He should be alive today. And, our thoughts go out to the female officer who has to now live with this. Maybe in jail. Maybe she'll have to live with this in jail for the rest of her life. That's how it goes. Yeah. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment below. And wear your mask. COVID is real, right? Oh, by the way, even if you get your vaccine, Dr. Fauci said no indoor dining, no indoor drinking, and no traveling, and no gathering outdoors in large groups, even if you have your vaccine. Fauci knows best.